you?
Yeah, really good. Excited to chat to you today. I'm actually a little bit shocked that I'm chatting to you today because I don't know, I you had become one of my favorites of this season. And when you found the Beware advantage, it's like, oh no, she's got this. She's going deep. So I'm actually on a personal note, I'm sorry that I'm chatting to you this morning or today,
No,
your time.
yeah, same. I'm sorry you're talking to me too, maybe later, but not right
Yeah.
now. I didn't think
No,
I'd be here.
no, I
Clearly.
like no, talk me through a little bit of where do I start with you? I feel like I want to start a little bit with the Beware advantage because obviously that's such a big part of your game. Can we go back to originally finding the Beware advantage? Because I love how you played this. And I watched an interview with Jeff Probst they did with Rob Cesternino prior to the season. He talked about how players this season are taking the advantages and manipulating them and using them in a way that we've never seen before. And I was like, when I saw you do that, I was like, this is such a great evolution of the game that I'm sure players are going to steal in the future. But can you talk about your mindset around Beware Advantage and how you used it? I thought amazingly.
Yeah, absolutely. So before going into the game, I knew if I found anything, I wasn't going to share it with anybody. Like what is mine, any idol advantages, they'll be mine.
Yeah.
And so when we went on the group idol hunt, and Charlie was my partner for the idol hunt, and I spotted and I saw it, I had to like calm down because I get really excited and I didn't want it to show. So after I found it and it said like dig below, I thought of like, what can I do? Like, I'll have to wait until the nighttime in order to go because throughout the day we can't go anywhere without each other following. And
Yeah.
so after I got the box, I was like, okay, now I have to basically wait until I get voted out. So I thought, what can I do with this that will create some excitement at camp? Because I know I was tired of like the battle of the Metallica and Taylor Swift and just a happy just a happy tribe, and I just wanted some fun. Like I wanted to play, I was ready to play. And so I thought, hey, why don't I just hide this beware advantage, somebody else will find it, and then by then I can probably plant a fake immunity idol or something after we lose, because I couldn't plant something immediately because I didn't have
Yeah.
like a scroll that says this is an immunity idol or anything. So I was like, if we lose the next challenge, I'll be able to like get my idol and replant something and kind of send them and to think that they have one. So that didn't work out because we never lost, and so it took like 3 days for them to dig and they couldn't find anything, and I was like, okay, there's nothing I can do. But I had a lot of fun during that time because I just thought that I know they're digging, but I couldn't really say, hey, there's nothing there. I just went with it.
Yeah. And I think you did that really well as well. And that poor tree, I feel like, is the tree dead? I feel like that's a question. Did the tree die?
Well, the tree was already dead to begin
Okay.
with. It was just like a dead tree. And so it's dead, but I replanted a coconut tree in its place.
Nice.
We also planted like we paid to plant a tree in one of the places, so kind of for good karma.
Yeah, nice. I'm only teasing you. It's totally fine. I loved what you did. In terms of them digging at the base of the tree, we see you kind of in the background with this great smile on your face around them doing it. Like you said it was 3 days of them digging. Were there moments where they're like, no, like when did the realization start to click in, do you feel like for your tribe mates?
So I think they realized like they still thought it was there because they were like, Tony had dig like a deeper hole in this, like it's deep down. And that's when Mo was like, Jeff would never lie to us. Like it has to be here
Yeah.
unless somebody replanted it. And so then it started like coming up and we're looking and like I'm helping them digging and we're sifting through. Like the last episode, it showed that we had like seashells. We literally sift through the sand. That's how
Yeah.
like bad it got, and then everybody just like gave up, so they really didn't know who had it. And even after I got voted out, like nobody, the scent was not on me, they never thought I had it, so
Yeah.
that was pretty good.
You spoke a little bit, this is my words, a bit of the Kumbaya tribe that had been established out there. losing the immunity for the first time, day 11 into the game, 12 into the game. What's your feeling as you're heading back to camp that night after the challenge? Sorry, after the challenge, you head back to camp. What's the emotion running through? Because you strike me as a gamer. Are you excited by this at this
I
point?
was so excited. I was
Yeah,
like, finally, we lost. I was like, I can get my idol. And so we got back to camp. And after we get back, every time after like a challenge, we would sit and kind of discuss what happened and discuss the other team. And then we decided that we'll go kind of individual immunity hunt.
yeah,
So that way I can basically get my idol. And so I was like, going around looking for stuff, carrying that machete. But it like I was confident in my alliance because we've had that alliance since day 2, and we've checked in every single day with each other. Like, are we still okay? How are we feeling about the other two? And so I was like 100% confident that I have good alliance. We set up this kind of that we'll have conversation with Ben and Tim like throughout the afternoon just to make them feel okay. And
yeah,
we knew that they were thinking about Mo. So we thought, like Charlie said, that Mo was the person that kept coming up. So we were like, okay, Mo and Ben will get pretty much majority of the vote and Tim, but I never thought I'd see my name in the parchment. So I was pretty confident, maybe a little overconfident.
yeah. It's so hard. It's so hard when you're yeah, when you find the idol and you have that, do I play it? Do I not? Especially on a small tribe. But when you're thinking that the vote isn't even going to be on you, and
Yeah.
they've done that really well, obviously, in terms of keeping that secret from you and Mo, at that point, that's a really hard one. The idol hunt itself, because this is what I find really fascinating. The show obviously presents it in a time frame. It's got math equations in it, which scares me. To make sure you're doing the right thing. It seems like you found it fairly smoothly. Did the show represent that idol find as smoothly as it was, or was it harder than it
No, it
represented?
was harder.
Yeah.
Because when I read like what it needed to be, I was like, okay, I have no idea what a parameter is. I forgot. Like I was like, are you guys playing a trick on me? Because this is I don't know what a parameter is. And so I went
Yeah.
back to thinking like, okay, you learned this. What is a radius? What is like a circumference? What is a perimeter? And then I was like, yes, I got it. And so
Yeah.
after I figured it out, it took me like 10 minutes to like go through. I was literally sitting there like, I'm probably not going to get this. Like, I'm just going to lose my vote. Like, it's not
Yeah.
going to happen. And then after I realized what it is, and I went around and I got everything, and then I got the key to the box, I was like, yes, I felt relieved because I know I got my vote and I can go back to my alliance and kind of made plans. But yeah, that didn't I worked so hard for it for no reason. I waited 11 days for it, for literally for me to go home with it in my pocket.
Yeah, look, it made good TV, but I understand that the difficulty in doing that. It's interesting because the question I had around that was obviously the time frame that it takes you then out of the game because you're searching for the idol in that moment. Everyone else is clustering
Right.
and having conversations. Do you think that that impacted? And had you not had to search for the idol, do you think that would have changed anything, or it was just what it was?
No, it actually did not impact the game because we all decided to go in like a different location. We
Yeah,
talked about which location each person's gonna head to, and I said like I'll take the water well because I know that's where like my stuff is. So it's like
yeah,
I vote this, and somebody else said tree mail, and somebody else said there, and then we said we were gonna meet each other basically in their area that they're at to have one-on-one conversations.
yeah,
So that's when Ben like came into my area, and that's where the conversation happened because I was still kind of idol hunting when he came in. That's why I had the machete. But no, it did not impact. It took 20 minutes for me total to find it. And by that time, people were still having their one-on-ones. So it wasn't like I was gone for 3 hours.
yeah.
That didn't happen. People were still having one-on-ones because when I got back with the idol, I still like Mo was still having a conversation with Charlie, and somebody else was having a conversation. And it was just me, Maria, and Tim that was like back at camp. So I got back before they even finished their one-on-ones.
So the Charlie's Angels alliance that we saw growing and fostering through the game, how real was that for you? And what in your mind shifted that when it came to the vote?
It was 100% real for me. I really wanted to play like a genuine, trustworthy game, and I wanted alliance members that I was going to go to the end with. But unfortunately, it didn't work out in that way. But I played like a loyal game, and Charlie's Angels I thought was very much a thing, and that's why I didn't play my idol. So
Yeah.
I really believe it would have worked out.
Yeah. Obviously, we see conversations happening within the game where we see like Ben and Charlie having
Right.
this growing connection. Are you aware of this and seeing this? And I guess when the vote is coming between Ben and Tim, was there any discussions around where we should place the vote, especially if Charlie is establishing this relationship over here?
Yeah, so the Charlie and Ben started having like this relationship on day 7 when they did like the battle. So it
Yeah.
was fairly new. And the votes were going basically in Ben's direction and Tim's direction because they were like on the bottom. I couldn't read Tim, and for Ben, he was just like I ended up being the provider for my tribe. And so when I was cutting like papayas or cutting food after every challenge, he would like lay on the beach and he wanted us to bring it to him. So that was kind of getting on my nerves a
Yeah.
little. I was like, I'm not going to find you food and feed it to you. Like, that's just not going to happen. And like it showed that Charlie was getting him his water filled and such, like stuff like that. And so I was like, okay, that's not part of what I signed up for, so I'm not going to do it. And so for that reason, everybody was talking about, okay, he's not working around camp or, and that didn't show, but that's like the reason why the vote was kind of going his way.
Yeah.
And Tim, just in case Tim has something from like the journey.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. In terms of like we saw in the episode conversations between you and Tim as well. I love your scenes where you're talking about how you didn't realize you were such a good liar. And I think you did a really good job. I thought you were doing an amazing job. Tim has like inclinations. I think that
Yeah.
I don't know if that's him reading you or more his just mistrust in like the
So
environment. Can you talk about those conversations and kind of trying to get the I guess get the perception that you're this person off you?
Yeah, absolutely. So Tim and I, from day one, we talked about that we're going to be an alliance. And so if he finds an idol, he'll tell me. And if I find an idol, I'll tell him. And so one night I caught Tim sneaking out looking for an idol. And so I approached him in the morning. I was like, I saw what you were doing, but it's okay. Like, it's good with me. I won't tell anybody. And so I didn't really tell anyone. And so when it came to the digging is when Tim
Yeah.
approached me when they were digging. He was like, I know you would do something like this. Like, it would only be you, a Sagittarius, to do that. I was like, I
Yeah.
don't know shit about what you're talking. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, it's not me. Like, if it was me, it would have been great because I would have tell you that I have an idol, but I don't. I was like, and we promise each other that we'll tell each other. But when he was coming in hot, like, I know you have it, like you did. I was like, no, I did not. Like, what are you talking about? And so I got a
Yeah.
little like defensive. But no, I didn't think like that was the reason. I didn't think he caught on. He didn't catch on at all from like what I know, because they would have split their vote multiple way if they had thought that I had an idol and not just played all 4, even the extra one on me.
Yeah. No, that makes total
Yeah.
sense. In terms of your like core relationships in the game, where do you think they were and who were they for you?
I thought it was Charlie's Angel was like the core relationship that I've had from like day one. I know they said like Mo and I was our own thing, and Ben and Tim, and then Maria and Charlie in the middle. I felt more like Charlie and I were in the middle because I felt like Maria and Mariah were having conversations a lot, to a
Yeah.
point like day 3. I said, oh, are y'all too like best friends? Am I
Yeah.
on like
Yeah.
the bottom? And they're like, no, 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 no. It's not like that. We're just having conversations about like other things. And then they started being more inclusive with Tim and with Charlie and I. And so it was the four of us having all the conversation, talking. So I really thought that that was the core alliance that I had. It wasn't like I was close with one person more than the other.
Yeah, hypothetically, I know these are always really hard to do in Survivor. I know you're a big fan, so like it's hard to sometimes go back retrospectively and say, but hypothetically, had you gone to one of the prior tribal
Yeah,
councils, do you think the vote is different? And do you think it was just the
absolutely.
time that caused it to get to this point?
100%. I think the earlier you go to tribal council, if you have an alliance like day one or two, if you go to the first tribal council, that alliance is 90% going to happen.
Yeah.
But the longer you wait in the game, people change their mind. You talk more about like personal and family life, and that kind of also affect the game a little because people might see you as more of a threat in that sense. So the longer it gets, and for us to miss like 5 tribal council and like 4 and then going to the 5th one, I think it was like to our detriment. I wish we had gone earlier, but
Yeah.
it didn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that for you as well. I'm sad. I'm sad. I feel like you in the merge. Had you made it through one more vote, I think it would have been
I
really
know.
fun to see.
It would
Just
have.
just a last one. I guess you've had this. I feel like you had a really fun and enjoyable journey just as a viewer watching it. What's a memory or memories that stick out for you from this whole Survivor experience you've just gone through?
I think the fact that we were like a tribe when before the last day, we had very intimate conversations and we were like all sitting by the fire and sharing about our family and sharing about our personal life. And I thought that was really cool because we're in a place where, you know, we're here to play a game, but at the same time to share those things. And also, we talked about our strengths and weaknesses and challenges. And that's
Yeah.
why, as we call ourselves Scrappy Siga, that's why we were able to win because we leverage everyone's strength and everyone's weaknesses. And so if a challenge is to the certain people's strength, they'll do it and then we'll sit out for the other one. And so we did that consistently. And I thought like that's like a core memory that was good for me. But I've had a lot of amazing memories, and that's why I'm not so bummed about going out because it's just one day of chaos and I'm gone. But every other day was amazing for me.
Yeah, well, you're still radiating positivity through our chat today. So thank you for doing that. I think that came through on the show as well. Hope you've had a really great experience. The feedback, at least from my perspective, you were really fun. So I really enjoyed watching you play. I'm sorry they didn't make the merge, but thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat and best of luck. I hope you enjoyed watching the rest of the season as well. I know it's a bit of bittersweet where you went. It's
I
like
hope so.
it's the worst spot. Like I hate that spot. It's like you're so close. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Hey, somebody's got to win it. Like 1 out of the 18, right? The other 17 of us is not getting the million, no matter how hard we play or how far we go. So it's
Yeah.